What's up, guys? Dr. Doll here. It is a quiet evening at my house, and my boys are in bed. It's just me and you. So I'm gonna work on this. This was the dog chewed on doll, and I have already replaced her arms. So I got it was an Isabel Palmer TLC doll, and she was in far worse condition than I originally thought. So I pretty much just used her for parts. So I took her arms and put it on this doll's torso, and then I went ahead and restrung her limbs. I also have washed the canvas. I soaked it overnight in a soap mixture with some OxyClean to try and get some of that dirt out, because I do believe she was outdoors at some point. There was just a lot of like dirt and dust. So now I'm going to address just sort of cleaning her, and also these holes on her canvas. Might be kind of a boring video. I apologize. But I told you that I would film this process, so here we are. This might be a little unorthodox, but to stitch up the holes, I actually prefer the torso to be stuffed. Now, this is probably different for everyone. Some people find it a lot easier to do unstuffed. For some reason, I like to do it stuffed. I can just get the tension a little bit better, and I can get an idea visually what it's going to look like better. So I'm going to go ahead and stuff her. Now, a common problem that I run into with stuffing is that the bottoms don't get stuffed, they don't get packed enough, and so then you end up having like this weird understuffed bottom and then like a bulky upper torso, so she kind of looks like a football player. So you really want to pack the stuffing down into the booty area to make sure that that doesn't happen. We don't want our girlies to look like linebackers. I mean, if that's what you're going for, then by all means use that, but that's not the look I'm going for this doll. So I want to make sure that I get plenty of stuffing down there. And for the most part, her stuffing was surprisingly clean. So I don't think she necessarily got wet. I think she was drugged like on some surface dirt that just kind of stuck to her canvas. But I don't think she necessarily was like out in the rain or in a puddle or anything. Sometimes I see dolls that definitely got left out in the rain. And that's where you get the mildewy stuffing. You know, the stuffing's kind of soiled and gross, and then you want to replace it. But this stuffing seemed pretty clean. I didn't smell any weird odors. And I didn't see any gray spots, gray or brown spots. So I would say that it was just some light surface dirt that got on her torso. You want to pack it really good. I know that some people prefer the like Old Pleasant Company style bodies that are a little squishier. They're not stuffed as much, and that's fine. I always like to stuff my dolls a little bit more than that, just because over time they tend to get more squishy. So you can see there's still a stain from dirt here that didn't come out. She is clean, but some of those stains didn't completely come out. So that's just how it is with fabric. I would say most of the time the stains will come out. A lot of times it depends on the age of the stain. You know, if it's been there for years, then man, yeah, sometimes it just won't come out. And I've noticed that with ink as well, with like ink or Sharpie on the vinyl limbs. It seems like the older the mark is, the harder it is to get out. Okay. Still a little bit too squishy for my taste. Okay, so now that I have her stuffed to the desired squishiness, some people have a hard, fast, like, amount of stuffing. I think it's like 110 grams or something that they like to use. I don't ever measure it. I just stuff until it feels right to me. I'm a big feeler, so I stuff until I feel it's good. All right, so I feel like that's pretty good. So what I'm going to do now is address these puncture holes in her body. Just judging from the other damage that was done to her. I'm guessing these are teeth marks by a dog. So what I'm going to do is I have this, it's fairly thick cotton thread here, and it's in the color beige, I think, or tan. And I'm going to double it because I want it to be really thick. I don't want to skimp. And I'm going to thread the needle. And I'm just going to show you the way that I do this. Now, everyone has different methods that they like, but I'm just going to show you the way that I do it if I can ever thread this needle. Okay. And then I use double thread because I want it to be pretty strong. And then I just tie a little knot at the end. Nothing fancy. Okay, so you're going to mend it a lot like you would a sock. So unfortunately, these are very like jagged holes. I don't know if you can see, but there's not, like, if there was just a line cut, you know, and there wasn't really fabric missing, I might be able to get away with doing like an invisible stitch or I think it's called like a surgeon stitch, a surgeon suture stitch, where you can actually like close it up without showing any of the thread. But these are so jagged and there's actually pieces of fabric missing that at this point I'm going strictly for function. This is going to be a play doll for a little girl. This is not going to be a display doll. She's not going to be used for like photography. This is just going to be a little girl's play doll. So I'm going for function. I want this to be strong. I don't want the holes to reopen. So it might not be the prettiest, but that's what we're going for. So I'm going to start underneath and pull up on one edge of the hole until your knot catches. I'm going to tuck the ends in. And then I'm just doing, I call it like a mummy stitch. You're like wrapping it like a mummy. So you just start on one side and then you go in the other side. You don't want to like go over too far, but you also need to go far enough so that it's not going to fray out. So you just Oops. Oh no. And then I got her leg in that one. Okay. So you're essentially just, it's almost like on cartoons where you see like a kid gets a surgery or something, or like their appendix removed and they show the stitch. It's kind of like that. So again, we are going for easy function. We want this to close up. We are not going for, we're not trying to win the prettiest stitch award here. I might have some quilter friends out there who can make this look a lot more delicate, but so you can see kind of what I've done there. I've literally just gone down, pushed up one side to the other, and I'm just slowly closing it up. Now I'm going to go back. So I've gone from one end to the other. Now I'm going to go back. And this time I'm not going to go quite so straight. I'm going to crisscross the lines a little bit. And it's just sort of like darning a sock. You just want the darn thing to not reopen, basically. Har, 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 har. Okay. Now that was one of the bigger ones. So you just see what I've done. It's not pretty, but I closed it up. And I might do a couple more stitches. And then I will knot it. And anytime you have a hole like this, it's always a good idea to use a little bit of fray check, or a dab of super glue will work too, just to keep the ends from fraying any more than they already have. Just kind of stop the process of it unraveling. And then you just create a little knot. And then you can tuck your ends inside. And voila. So, not pretty, but it's functional. Functional? I was looking for the right word there. So, I don't have any fray check at the moment. I'm just going to use a little dab of super glue, because it'll work just fine. And you just want to, not too much, you just want to get those frayed ends a little bit wet to keep them from fraying anymore. Okay. So, one hole done and about 50 more to go. So some of these I might do like a suture stitch. Some of the ones that are not quite as gaping. But for the big holes, that's pretty much what you do. Now, if this were to be a display doll, something that would be photographed or put on display, I might just honestly recommend getting a new torso, because this one is in such bad shape. However, this is a little girl. She is, she's paying me with her own money that she earned by helping the neighbors and doing chores. She doesn't have a ton of money, so we are just going to make do with this torso for now. So I'm going to do a few more and then I'll check back with you. Okay, so I've done a couple more, and I put fray check or super glue on them. But there's so many more to go that I'm just going to go ahead and worry about those later. And I'm going to first give her a scrub with the magic eraser so I don't wet it. feeling she might be a little dirty. A little bit. I mean, this wasn't a new eraser, but definitely a lot of dirt coming off. One leg down, so this right here is from her leg. This leg has some weird, like, clear coating on it, like nail polish, like a clear nail polish almost. So I might have to remove that with acetone. Ooh, it's quite dirty. Wash your armpits so you don't stink. Gotta get all clean under there. Okay, and then obviously there's marks and nail polish on the hands, her new hands. So I'm gonna have to remove that. Go ahead and scrub her face because it looks quite dirty. Oops, I got some water on the canvas. I'll set that to the side. Yeah, I think this girlie was outside with a dog at some point in her life. Just based on all the evidence. Could be a crime scene investigator, except for with American Girl dolls. I want to get her eyes, or around her eyes without actually touching her eyes. You don't want to get those wet, because they will rust. Alright, that's pretty good on her face. Alright, we'll set that to the side. Okay, so now I'm going to get a little bit of my acetone and try and get this nail polish off. And there's also just a weird something here. I don't know if it's paint or it's a clear coat of nail polish or something. It could just be like her skin came in contact with a chemical and that's what happened. Not really sure. But it looks like something's coming off. I'm not really sure what it is. I know some people are weird about acetone. On these dolls, the Mattel era dolls, I've never had a problem with using acetone. On the older Pleasant Company plastic, sometimes it will leave a shiny residue. So depending on if you have a Mattel doll that you're working on or not. Okay, well, something came off. But then there's also still something on there, and I'm not really sure what it is. Is it just dirt? Not really sure. Something definitely came off though. Okay, now let's little pen mark down there. I'm not going to worry too much about that. Let's worry about this fingernail polish. Oh no. Oh man, I think this is Sharpie. Okay, well, benzoyl peroxide, here we come. So for those of you who don't know, benzoyl peroxide is a treatment you can use to remove Sharpie. I'll do a video on it someday. It just takes so much time. So, all right, that's not coming off tonight. So, sorry, this is probably not a very exciting video, but I did want to show you that there is some progress being made. I am working on her. And this is what I do for just a simple, quick fix for these chew marks. Ideally, you would get a new body, but sometimes that's just not possible. So, anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I'll keep you updated on her transformation and future videos. So, till next time, we'll see you in the next video, guys. Bye-bye.